Hi! So Dynamite is tonight. Only 4 matches announced and not the entire card, but I'm busy this evening. And so I just kind of wanted to get this out and in the open and talk about... I realised this just a minute ago. This is my favourite thing in the fucking world. I fucking love AEW. I'm such a mark. So, the first thing to talk about on our card is our TNT title match between Kevin Knight, freshly turned heel, against his former partner in Jet Speed, Speedball Mike Bailey. This match will fuck. This match will be excellent. I wouldn't be surprised. So I expect Kevin to win. I think Kevin Knight should win here, obviously. I think the narrative that comes out of it is what happens with Speedball. I said this in a recent ramble about Speedball. I wouldn't be surprised if Speedball turns heel. I wouldn't be surprised about that. I think there's got to be some sort of inkling of what's next for Kevin, because I feel like you can't just have him turn heel and just face Speedball. There's got to be a longer story of play. Obviously the world title's in his eyes. And still with Speedball again, I wouldn't be surprised what goes on there. I wouldn't be surprised if this match goes as a DQ. I feel like that's definitely an option and definitely something that is on the table, because, you know, just kind of set this up for the pay-per-view, because, you know, you got that pay-per-view in Canada, and I think that's after Forbidden Door. What am I on about? Yeah, I feel like I was going to say that could be a long play, but I doubt it. I feel like the obvious call for me is to have Kevin Knight win here, and then Kevin Knight continue the TNT reign as a heel, but then still lead to what we're doing with Speedball, maybe build Speedball up for Redemption, the Canadian pay-per-view, and Forbidden Door maybe give us Kevin versus either Shibata, because that makes sense, or obviously someone from New Japan or CMLL. If you give me Kevin Knight versus Mascara Dorada, I might explode. So, there's lots of options here. I think the main thing is here, you got to have Kevin retain to really solidify this heel turn. Does he align himself with anyone after this? No, I think they'll tease someone. I think they'll tease Don Callis or Swerve again. I think that's always on the cards. But I think Kevin Knight, I think this will be incredible. I think this will be match of the night. Shock. But this is going to be great. I cannot wait for this. After this, we got to talk about our men's Owen Hart Cup semi-final. Our first one, and it is going to be Will Ospreay versus Mark Davis, our AEW National Champion. Now, this is a big match. I don't want this to get twisted. This is very much this is how Ospreay was beginning to go with the Death Riders, and it's definitely, you know, the last guy Ospreay really lost to via the doctor's stoppage, and, you know, Davis fucked him up, so there's definitely stuff there. I think Ospreay wins, shock. I think that's obvious. I think Ospreay brutalizes Davis here. I think this match will be incredible too. I think they'll really go all out with it. I wouldn't be surprised if this is Davis's best match for a while, and I think Davis has been on a hell of a run. I feel like the match will be... I'm really looking forward to this. This is probably my most anticipated match of the night. I think that's because obviously the Ospreay stuff going forward, the Don Callis, the Davis stuff. I think the Death Riders will make an appearance. I think the Don Callis family will try and jump Ospreay, obviously, after the match, and the Death Riders come out and save him. I think they'll really solidify that. I think Will cut a promo. I think there'll be a lot there. I think Ospreay will fuck Davis up. Like, I think he'll injure Davis. I think they'll go down that angle, and I don't know if they have him defend the national belt or what, but I think they'll definitely tease something with Davis. I wouldn't be surprised if they tease Davis with a Death Rider in a match next week on Collision. I wouldn't be surprised if they done him versus Yuta or Garcia, even Claudio. You know, you could do a lot of people. I think there's so many, any of the Death Riders, so, and the belt, and, you know, you could even drop it to them. So I feel like that makes sense. Whatever they do, I'm happy with. I think the match again will be excellent. I think they're really gonna go all out with the storytelling here, Ospreay. I think this is a very pivotal moment for Will Ospreay's story of, you know, going through the Owen and fucking everyone up. But as a match, I think it'll be excellent. These two have got history of the Aussie Open, United Empire, all of that stuff. Even the Kyle Fletcher feud. I would like, if the Don Callis family do run out, I would like to see Fletcher and Ospreay face off. I think that, like, I doubt it, but I think that could be really fucking cool. But anything like that, I think Ospreay is going to be on some crazy shit, and I think we need to see the Death Riders and Ospreay cut a promo. I think that has to be integral to call out whoever, and probably Swerve. But, you know what I mean, I think you'll go Swerve or Brody, whoever, and, you know, I think that'll cause some shit. I think we might even get Swerve and Ospreay staring each other out. That could be fun. But whatever they do, I'm looking forward to this. I think this could be really fun. I don't think it will be match of the night, but I think it'll be fucking damn close. I think this will be excellent once again. So, after this, we actually have our women's Owen Hart Cup quarter-final match between Alex Windsor and the mystery opponent due to Willow Nightingale being pulled out due to injury. Now, we have no indication of who this will be. I see the obvious guess. I think Windsor will win, regardless. I think that makes sense. I don't know if it'll be a debut. I don't think it'll be someone debuting. I think there's two calls for me that it could be. I'm not going to include Mercedes. I don't think it'll be Mercedes. I don't want it to be Mercedes, frankly. I love Mercedes. I don't want it to be Mercedes. I would like this to be one of either Billy Starks or Queen Aminata. I think Queen Aminata's my bet. I want to bet it on Queen Aminata. I think that makes sense. And obviously, I still think Windsor's win. I would like it to still be someone from another company. Like, maybe you bring Rio in. You know, maybe you even fucking bring another one of the Stardom girls in. Whoever, I don't care. Give me anyone. I just think this could be sick. This could be sick. You could give us any sort. You could give us an indie talent, someone cool. Honestly, it's a mystery opponent for a reason. It's a damn mystery who they're gonna pick. Mercedes is the obvious. Will they? Won't they? I just think Mercedes' return would be bigger than that. Just as an Owen entry. The debut, I mean, people are probably going to go, oh, is it going to be Kairi Sane? No, I don't think it will be. I think there's so many names. I think Aminata's mine. I think Aminata's my guess just because it makes sense. You could tease the Aminata and Tekla angle again, which I don't know why they never done that. They still haven't done that. You could fucking... She returned and then just not returned. It was weird. I know she's been on Ring of Honor, but still. And just... It's a big return, but not like something that would be like, oh, when they return. Like when Josh Alexander debuted, that's like a good example. That was in Yo when it gets Hangman last year. And it was like, okay, when he debuted, you didn't expect him to win because he didn't have that reputation and because he was still a debut, but it was like, okay, you know what level he was. And I love Josh Alexander. But Jesus, I feel like I think Queen Aminata's a good pick. Again, I would be happy with anyone of note. Jamie Hayes is definitely an option. I don't know. I don't think it will be Jamie. I think Jamie's title shot being so previous would be definitely something they would have thought about. I think they wouldn't have put her in that match if so. I think it will. I think it will be Aminata. But if it was Jamie, that could be pretty fun. Could it be Thunder Rosa? No, you know what I mean. People like that. I don't think it'll be anyone like huge. And I do count Jamie Hayter in that huge category in terms of notoriety and status. Former world champ. I think Aminata should be, but she's not. And I think regardless what they do, Rio would be a really good call though because of the tag team and stuff. That could be really fun. And I like Rio, but I like Alex Windsor a lot. I think Alex Windsor should win. I think that makes sense. Obviously, you could build hair matches. But whatever they do, I mean, it really is all about who they're going to pick. But for me, I think they'll do one out of whoever they pick, I'm going to be happy with. And it's so hard to call a match because obviously you don't know who it's going to be against. I just think Aminata will win. I think Windsor will win. But either way, Windsor's great, so I assume to get a really good performance. After this, we've got our main event of the evening. Our only other match confirmed for the card. We have our AEW Men's World Champion, MJF, making his first defense since regaining the belt from Darby against Rush Toro Blanco. You mess with the bull, you get the hordes. Fucking banger. Max will win. Shock. I love Rush. I think Rush is an excellent in-ring worker. I think this will be a match that... I think this is a match out of obligation because I think they should have done this against Darby. It made the most sense, but they never. I fuck knows why. I don't know. The Briscoe stuff's still there. I think they will have after the match. I wouldn't be surprised if this isn't the main event, to be honest. I feel like this doesn't have to be the main event. You could have Ospreay be the main event, or even Kevin versus Speedball. But I think whatever they do here, I think Max will end up facing Briscoe, facing off, and I think they'll set up their match. I don't know when. I don't think it'll be at the pay-per-view at Forbidden Door. No, I don't think that's the call. I think you have that on a Dynamite or like a grand, an event before Forbidden Door. Now, do I think with Max, I don't want Rush to look bad here. I think Rush will look great. Rush is great, and they've had their match before. I was going to make a match ramble, but I haven't had the time. And I think this match will be fun. I do. I think Max will win. I think they'll set up Briscoe. If they don't set up Briscoe again, obviously because they've laid that groundwork, I would like them to lay someone down for Forbidden Door, someone from a previous company, maybe New Japan. Ironically enough, I didn't even think about this till just now. I think the good call would be Ishii. I feel like fucking hell, did you see that shit? Sorry. I feel like Ishii would be a good call. I feel like if they do a thing where Max faces Briscoe, beats the fucking piss out of Briscoe, and then he's like about to attack him, the conglomeration come out, and then they for some reason don't attack, but then Ishii returns. Obviously Ishii is a part of the conglomeration and likes Briscoe, and you could go boom, there you go, Briscoe, Ishii faces Max at Forbidden Door. I don't think that'll be the option, but I think that could be cool. You could do Okada. You could definitely do Okada, just due to Okada claiming for that belt against Darby and never getting that match. I feel like and obviously, for me, Mystico's the call. I think if you had to do a match for Max at Forbidden Door, it would be Mystico again. Makes the most fucking sense in the world. But I don't know. I don't know if they set up Forbidden Door now. I think they should, but I don't know if they do. Whoever they do, I think it'll be a really fun idea. Okada, I think the three options for me are Mystico, Okada. I just don't think it'll be Briscoe Forbidden Door. But obviously, even Kenny. It could be Kenny again, but I think that Redemption pay-per-view is built for Kenny's return. And obviously, Ishii. There's so many options you could do. AEW's got great in-ring workers. And obviously people who are tied to New Japan, so there's definitely options. But I think Max will win. I think they'll set something up with Briscoe. Obviously, I was going way far ahead there. But I think they'll set something up with Briscoe, and I don't think that'll be a Forbidden Door, the next pay-per-view. I think that'll be set up for Dynamite, possibly next week or the week after. I think they'll set the groundwork. They could even have Max versus someone else in the conglomeration. Someone like a Cassidy or a Kyle O'Reilly. Even Roddy again. You know what I mean? There's so many options you could do. But honestly, whatever they do, I'm into it. And I think Max will win. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this isn't the main event, but I think they've got to start laying the groundwork for Forbidden Door. That's just me. But yeah, that's supposedly our main event. That's everything confirmed. Do I think anything else will show up or happen? I think we'll get some sort of update with the dogs and Cope and Christian, obviously. I think we've got to get something with Tekla, obviously. I want more preview for the women's Owen Hart tournament. Maybe a promo. I think we need to know when Cerie's having her match. I think that's very important. I would like to see the Moxley stuff. This is the thing, Moxley, you're used to Moxley every week, and we haven't got Moxley this week yet, but they probably announced some shit. For me, I would like to see something with the Bucks. I feel like the Bucks have been missing, and I just miss the Bucks. Obviously, they had the Stadium Stampede. They'll probably do something with Jericho and Ciampa, maybe just tease that for Collision's involvement. I think... Oh, no, that's next week on Collision. No, wait. No, it wasn't. I forget. Fuck knows. I forget. I was going to say something about the Divine Dominion against TJ. I don't know if that's happening tonight. I forget, because they had that match on Collision where they did survive the 5 minutes. So I don't know if that's going to happen tonight. If that happens, great. Don't know why it's not being confirmed, but great. But I think there's a lot here. I think the big thing for me is Stat too. I think we need to have a follow-up of what happened with Stat and Shida too. I think that's very important. But again, the women on AEW they'll probably get one match, which is the Windsor match, and that's it. But overall, I think the Moxley stuff's big. I would like to see Kenny in the Bucks, obviously. I'd like to see something with Jack Perry. I feel like I like Jack Perry, obviously, so I'd like to see what they're doing with him. But whatever they do, I think they've got a lot there. Cope and Cage are a big one, obviously. Just the titles being presented, and the TBS stuff was confirmed. Maybe we get another update on that, but yeah, whatever they do. This looks to be a really fun Dynamite. No more 3 hours. Thank fuck for that. So yeah, that's our preview for Dynamite this week. Let me know what you're most excited for, what you think is going to be the match tonight, and what you think is going to happen after Max versus Rush. That's really interesting to me. Let me know what you think about that.